I never played a pre-recorded set. I hear so much about those stories of pre-recorded set. I think it's absolutely ridiculous because beat matching is so easy. Like, I can teach a kid that is 10 years old how to beat match in a couple of hours because today it really became easy. So I don't know why people are talking about this, but what I can say is that yes, we prepare. When I play a festival like Ultra, I probably work 1 full month every day on that set to make it perfect. I would create a skeleton, and then when I play, I see, are people reacting more to this or to that? Let's say I'm playing my set that I prepared, but I see that when I play an underground record, they're really into it. So I have my underground playlist. I'm gonna add some of this. Or let's say I play an underground record and it's a disaster. The only one hits and sing along and feel good music. Okay, no problem. I'll also have my list and I'm gonna add that more into the skeleton of my set. Someone asked what they're hearing in the headphones when they're playing a set in a loud venue. Again, let's say I'm playing record A, which would be this one. I would use my headphones to listen to record B and make sure that I started the record at the right time and that it's beat matching correctly. And I'm gonna check this in my headphones because I don't wanna mess it up and just launch it and put it there and I think it's right, but maybe it's not right. So it's like an insurance policy. You want to make sure that your mixing is on point. And also, when you're looking for the next record to play, well, sometimes you have an hesitation. You feel like this is gonna feel good after record A, but let me double check how it feels in the headphones. So one ear is listening in the headphones to the next record, and one ear is listening to the monitor to what's playing on the sound system for everyone. Beat matching is really easy today with the technology of today. So I just took loops for you to understand. So let's say that this record is playing and I need to get into the next record. So what I would do usually is turn down the bass because it's just a mixing principle. If you have too much bass at the same time, it's gonna sound horrible. And then, so now, there are 2 records playing and it's beat matching, okay? If it was a bad mix, it would do that. If you do that, it's horrible. Like, people are confused. They don't know how to dance, like where to dance. So then you need to adjust it. And now, okay, again, I'm gonna do that. And then I can go to the other one. So I kept the beat steady so that people can dance. And now let's go to the next level of, let's say, when you learn how to DJ, the first step is to beat match correctly, the way I did. And the next step is also to respect the key. Can someone help clarify the difference between mixing, remixes, and producing? Some people think that DJs are creating the music live with the turntables, which is not true. Some people think that when I make a record, I'm just remixing it or mixing it, which is also not true. Let's be clear. So mixing 2 records together means there's one record that is playing. Most DJs are playing other people's record. You play one record and then you need to do a transition to the next record. So you mix the next record in, and there's a technique for that that is called beat matching. So that's mixing. Remixing is when you create a new production around an existing vocal. You take a famous song that everyone knows, but instead of playing the original version, you play a version that you created yourself with your own style of music. When you say someone is a producer, it usually involves all the different steps. Composition is usually simply chords played on the piano or the guitar, a little melody. Songwriting is the song, its melody, and then later when you have that, you produce it. The production is the choice of sounds, the choice of arrangement that is gonna make the song go into this style or that style. So for you to understand, if a song is great, I can produce it in so many different ways. I can make it a ballad, I can make it an EDM song, I can make it a reggae song. This is only due to production. Why do DJs always act like the knobs on the mixer are hot? If I'm totally honest, some of it can become like a tick to do that, and some of it is a little bullshit part of the show. I put the EQ straight because you have the craziest engineers that are coming into the club, so unless really the club sucks, you don't need to do all this show with the EQ. So then there's a little bit of the creative EQ. So in the mixing, and also like you can like, I don't want to speak bad about my colleagues. But I think a lot of this is for the show. Let's say it like that. Playing my first gig at 3 a.m., how to not be tired. Oh, I feel you. This is something you need to accept because this is part of what we do, and it doesn't get any better ever. Because first there's working at night, and then when you become very successful, you need to travel and be jet lagged. So yes, it's, I'm sorry, my friend. There's no perfect solution, but there is one okay solution, which is what I do when I play late nights. I do what I call a disco nap. I sleep 1 hour, no more, before the show. And then I take half an hour so I don't arrive like a zombie. This is a big problem in our community because we all have the worst sleep patterns because, of course, when you sleep before, before your show, then when you go home, you're not sleepy anymore. Don't take Zolpidem, it's not good for your health. How do you read the crowd when the club isn't vibing? That's a good question. Actually, this happens even to me. What you would do is try different things until one thing is reacting. And when that record is reacting, well, you have your different playlists, and let's say you play a tech house record and it's reacting when you've been playing techno and it was not reacting. Well, then you go to best of tech house of 2025 in your playlist, and then you play more of that style. And this is why pre-recorded set makes no sense, because you need to be able to try different things until you win. And when you win, you make them happy. And once they're happy, then you can take them where you want. What's the difference between playing at festivals or clubs? So usually when you start to DJ, you do parties with your friends, and then when you become more professional, you play clubs. And if you become very famous, you play festivals. I started as a resident, I would play 8 hours every day, 6 days a week. When I play a festival, I play 90 minutes because people want to hear my music. The same way you have a festival. Imagine you have the Rolling Stones and AC/DC. Well, you want the Rolling Stones to play Satisfaction. You want the AC/DC to play Highway to Hell. They're not gonna do in a festival little jam and play their favorite records from different artists. Well, it's the same for festivals. When you play a festival, people want you to play exactly your sound because this is why they're buying tickets. And usually, because the crowd is so much bigger, you have to play more energy because, of course, you need more energy to move 100,000 people than to move 200 people. So really, underground music is coming from the clubs. Sometimes it goes to festival, but in my opinion, when you play to 20,000 people, it's not underground anymore, even if you call it underground.